Georgia has illegal ice cream crimes, ghost-filled cities, wild horses on beaches, and more chickens than people. These 35 facts about Georgia sound completely fake, but every single one is true. And some of them shouldn't exist at all. Fact number 35. Savannah has more ghosts than rules. Savannah embraces the supernatural like no other city in Georgia or the country. Ghost tours, haunted mansions, and eerie cobblestone streets draw millions every year. Locals even joke that Savannah has more ghosts than rules. From Civil War stories to lingering spirits of old families, Savannah's haunted history is part of its charm and its tourism industry. Fact number 34. Georgia has a law against tying giraffes to telephone poles. Some laws are strange. Georgia has one that explicitly forbids tying giraffes to telephone poles. It sounds made up, but it's in the books. While it's never enforced today, it's a quirky reminder that legal codes sometimes take extremely literal or oddly specific turns. Fact number 33. You can legally hunt alligators in Georgia. Yes, Georgia allows alligator hunting, but it's nothing like a free-for-all. The season is short, tightly regulated, and permits are issued through a lottery system. Only a limited number of hunters are selected, and every hunt is closely monitored to protect the species. It's a careful balance between conservation and tradition, deeply rooted in Georgia's wild landscapes. Fact number 32. Georgia's official state fossil is a shark tooth. Georgia's official state fossil isn't a dinosaur bone or anything land-based at all. It's a shark tooth. Millions of years ago, much of Georgia was underwater. Massive prehistoric sharks swam where cities now stand. Today, fossilized shark teeth are still found across the state, especially in riverbeds and coastal areas. It's a reminder that Georgia's land once belonged to the ocean and its top predators. Fact number 31. Carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket is, sort of, illegal. You've probably heard this one. It's illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket in Georgia. Sounds ridiculous, but the origin actually makes sense. Long ago, people would steal horses by placing food in their pockets and letting the horse follow them away. No rope required. Laws were created to prevent this kind of theft, and over time, the story evolved into the ice cream version we hear today. It's rarely enforced, but it's a reminder that even the strangest laws often have surprisingly practical beginnings. Fact number 30. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Georgia. One of the most influential leaders in world history was born in Georgia. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta in 1929, where his journey into civil rights leadership began. Today, Atlanta is home to the King Center, preserving his legacy, and it's also where Dr. King is laid to rest. Millions of visitors come each year to walk the same streets, where his voice first rose against injustice. Georgia didn't just witness history, it helped shape it. Fact number 29. Georgia once banned tattoos statewide. For most of the 20th century, getting a tattoo in Georgia was illegal. Lawmakers believed tattooing posed health risks and moral concerns, so the practice was banned statewide. That meant anyone wanting ink had to cross state lines, or risk fines and jail time. The ban wasn't lifted until 1996. Today, tattoo shops are everywhere, but Georgia's long resistance makes its tattoo culture even more surprising. Fact number 28. Georgia has a blackwater swamp full of folklore. Deep in southern Georgia lies one of the most mysterious ecosystems in North America. The Okefenokee Swamp is known for its black water, darkened by decaying vegetation, and its haunting silence. It's home to alligators, rare birds, and countless legends passed down for generations. Stories of strange lights, unexplained sounds, and lost travelers have turned the swamp into folklore territory. It's beautiful, but undeniably eerie. Fact number 27. Georgia had two capitals before Atlanta. Atlanta hasn't always been Georgia's capital. Before it, the title belonged to two other cities, Savannah and Milledgeville. Savannah served as Georgia's first capital during the colonial era. Later, Milledgeville took over as the political center of the state. Only after Atlanta's rise as a transportation and economic hub did it claim and keep the capital title. Fact number 26. Wild horses live on Georgia's coast. Along Georgia's coast, you'll find something completely unexpected. Wild horses. Cumberland Island is home to feral horses whose exact origins remain a mystery. Some believe they descended from shipwrecked Spanish horses centuries ago. Others think they were released by settlers and left to roam free. Whatever their origin, they become one of Georgia's most magical and fragile natural sights. Along Georgia's coast, you'll find something completely unexpected: wild horses. Cumberland Island is home to feral horses whose exact origins remain a mystery. Some believe they descended from shipwrecked Spanish horses centuries ago. Others think they were released by settlers and left to roam free. Whatever their origin, they become one of Georgia's most magical and fragile natural sights. Fact number 25. It's illegal to live on a boat in some Georgia waters. Living on the water sounds peaceful until you try it in Georgia. In some Georgia waterways, it's illegal to live on a boat, even if that boat never moves. These laws exist to regulate zoning, environmental impact, and public safety. So while you can own the boat, the moment it becomes your permanent home, you could be breaking the law. Fact number 24. Georgia is the largest state east of the Mississippi. Georgia often gets overlooked in size, but it shouldn't. By land area, Georgia is the largest state east of the Mississippi River. That size helps explain its incredible diversity. Mountains in the north, farmland in the center, swamps and coastline in the south. Georgia doesn't just feel big, it actually is. Fact number 23. Some Georgia towns have fewer than 100 people. Georgia is home to several towns with populations under 100 people. And yet, they still have mayors, councils, and local government. These towns survive through tradition, tight-knit communities, and stubborn pride. Everyone knows everyone, and local elections can be decided by just a handful of votes. Fact number 22. Atlanta used to be called Terminus. Before it became Atlanta, the city had a much less glamorous name. It was called Terminus because it marked the end of a railroad line. What began as a rail stop slowly transformed into a transportation hub and eventually a major city. The name changed, but its role as a crossroads never did. Fact number 21. Georgia's state reptile is the gopher tortoise. Georgia's state reptile isn't flashy or fast, but it's vital. The gopher tortoise is a keystone species, meaning other animals depend on it to survive. Its underground burrows provide shelter for more than 350 different species, from snakes to owls. Protecting the gopher tortoise means protecting an entire ecosystem. Sometimes, the most important creatures are the quietest ones. Fact number 20. Georgia had the first public university in the U.S. Georgia can claim a major first in American education. The University of Georgia, chartered in 1785, was the first public university in the United States. Its creation marked a revolutionary idea: education for the public, not just the elite. Today, the campus blends centuries of history with modern innovation, proving that Georgia's role in shaping education runs deep. Fact number 19. There's gold in Georgia. Before California, there was Georgia. In the early 1800s, the first gold rush in the United States erupted here. Prospectors flocked to Dahlonega and surrounding areas in search of fortune. Some found riches, while others left empty-handed. Today, the gold rush lives on in history books, festivals, and even a few remaining nuggets. Fact number 18. Georgia once banned pinball machines. Georgia has a history of banning things you might take for granted. In the mid-20th century, pinball machines were illegal. Lawmakers considered them gambling devices, and anyone caught operating or playing one could face fines. Today, arcades are legal and thriving, but for a while, Georgia's lawmakers weren't taking any chances with the silver ball. Fact number 17. Georgia produces most of the nation's Vidalia onions. Georgia is home to America's sweetest onions, the Vidalia onion. Not only does Georgia produce most of the nation's supply, but the name Vidalia is legally protected by state law. Only onions grown in specific counties can officially carry the name. So if you think all onions are created equal, think again. Vidalias are a Georgia exclusive. Fact number 16. You can find a rainforest in Georgia. Georgia may not be the Amazon, but it has its very own tropical rainforest. Callaway Gardens hosts one of the largest man-made rainforests in North America. Visitors can wander beneath giant ferns, hear the roar of waterfalls, and experience lush biodiversity without leaving the state. It's a paradise tucked into the Peach State. Fact number 15. There's an island you can only reach by boat. Georgia's coastline hides islands few ever see. Some, like Cumberland Island, can only be reached by boat. No bridges, no cars, just beaches, wildlife, and silence. It's a rare escape where humans live lightly on the land and nature takes the lead. Fact number 14. Georgia briefly outlawed fortune-telling. Georgia once tried to make predicting the future illegal. Fortune-telling was banned unless practitioners paid a special tax to operate legally. While short-lived, this law shows Georgia's historical mix of pragmatism and eccentricity. Today, psychics and tarot readers practice openly, but the tax law is a quirky reminder of the past. Fact number 13. Georgia's official state prepared food is grits. And finally, Georgia has an official prepared food, and there's no debate allowed. It's grits, a staple of Southern cuisine. Whether served creamy, cheesy, or savory, grits are more than breakfast. They're a symbol of Georgia's culinary identity. From rural kitchens to fine dining, grits unite the state around a humble, comforting dish. Fact number 12. Georgia produces most of America's peanuts. Georgia produces more peanuts than any other state in the U.S. Millions of tons are grown here every year, making peanuts a massive part of Georgia's agricultural economy. But here's the twist. Peanuts aren't even native to North America. They originated in South America and were brought over through trade centuries ago. Somehow, Georgia adopted them so completely that it became the nation's peanut powerhouse. Fact number 11. Georgia had its own Stonehenge. In rural Georgia once stood one of the most mysterious monuments in America. The Georgia Guidestones were massive granite slabs engraved with cryptic messages in multiple languages. No one truly knew who commissioned them or why. For decades, they fueled conspiracy theories involving secret societies, global control, and apocalyptic warnings. In 2022, the monument was destroyed, but the mystery surrounding it only grew deeper. Fact number 10. Georgia is the Peach State. But isn't number 1. Georgia proudly wears the nickname the Peach State. Peaches appear on license plates, souvenirs, and state pride everywhere. But here's the surprise. South Carolina actually produces more peaches than Georgia. Georgia's peach reputation comes from quality, history, and branding, not sheer volume. Sometimes, identity matters more than statistics. Fact number 9. Georgia has 5 geographic regions. Georgia packs an unbelievable amount of geographic diversity into one state. It has 5 distinct regions: the Appalachian Plateau, the Ridge and Valley, the Piedmont, the Coastal Plain, and the coast. That means mountains, farmland, forests, swamps, and beaches, all within a single drive. Few states offer this much environmental variety in one place. Fact number 8. The world's largest drive-in restaurant is in Georgia. Atlanta is home to the largest drive-in restaurant in the world. The Varsity isn't just big, it's legendary. Capable of serving thousands of customers at once. It's been a Georgia institution since 1928. Its fast-paced energy, iconic menu, and booming atmosphere make it less of a restaurant and more of an experience. Fact number 7. A town was renamed because of an airport. College Park didn't just grow near an airport. It grew because of one. As aviation exploded in the early 20th century, the area surrounding what would become Hartsfield-Jackson transformed rapidly. College Park leaned fully into its identity as an airport city, its economy, infrastructure, and growth tied directly to air travel. Few towns can say an airport shaped their destiny, but in Georgia, one literally did. Fact number 6. Georgia has the busiest airport on Earth. Speaking of airports, Georgia is home to the busiest one on the planet. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport routinely ranks #1 worldwide for passenger traffic. Tens of millions of people pass through its terminals every single year. It's not just a travel hub, it's practically a small city, complete with its own infrastructure, economy, and rhythm. If you've flown anywhere major, chances are you've passed through Atlanta. Fact number 5. Georgia stayed dry longer than most states. When Prohibition ended in 1933, most of the country celebrated. Georgia didn't exactly join the party. The state remained dry longer than most others, with alcohol bans continuing at the local level for decades. Even today, some counties in Georgia still restrict alcohol sales. For a state known for hospitality, its relationship with alcohol has always been surprisingly complicated. Recognizable brands on Earth started as a medicine, right here in Atlanta. Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by a pharmacist, mixing a syrup meant to cure headaches and fatigue. The original formula was later sold for just $2,300, a decision that would become one of the most expensive underestimates in business history. Today, Coca-Cola is consumed billions of times a day, all tracing back to one small Atlanta pharmacy. Fact number 3. There are more chickens than people. This one sounds like a joke, but it's not. Georgia has tens of millions of chickens. At any given moment, there are roughly 3 times more chickens than people in the state. Georgia is one of the largest poultry producers in the entire country, supplying chicken to fast food chains, grocery stores, and restaurants nationwide. So, if it ever feels like the chickens are watching you, statistically speaking, they probably are. Fact number 2. Atlanta has burned to the ground more than once. Atlanta has a long history with fire, and not just metaphorically. The most famous destruction happened in 1864 during the Civil War, when Union forces burned much of the city to cripple the Confederacy. But that wasn't the first time. Earlier fires had already wiped out large sections of Atlanta's wooden buildings. Each time, the city rebuilt itself, bigger, stronger, and more determined. That's why Atlanta's symbol is the phoenix, a city that quite literally rose from the ashes more than once. Fact number 1. Georgia was founded as a debtor's colony. Believe it or not, Georgia began as a second chance for people who owed money. In 18th century England, debt was a crime. If you couldn't pay what you owed, you could end up in prison, sometimes for life. So when Georgia was founded in 1733, it was designed as a fresh start, a place where debtors could rebuild their lives, own land, and contribute to a new colony. No large plantations, no slavery at first, and strict rules meant to prevent extreme wealth or poverty. It didn't last forever, but Georgia's origin story is far more humanitarian than most people realize. Georgia is a state of firsts, quirks, and curiosities, from ancient ecosystems to modern oddities, from famous foods to strange laws. And now, you've seen 35 absurd facts that sound fake but aren't.